Hello, Tennis Anyone students and parents in our Diamond Bar program. Coach Bill here with Tennis Anyone with my son Jackson. Jackson, how old are you?
11.
11, okay, awesome. All right, so Jackson and I are coming from our living room right into your living room and bringing tennis to you. I know players and parents and students are trying to get outdoors more and more. We're looking forward to tennis starting up pretty soon in the city of Diamond Bar, but we still want to give you a few things to utilize to warm up and get ready for the opening of the tennis courts that you can do right in your living room. So I'm going to have Jax do a couple of stretches, and Jax, why don't you do one upper body stretch and one lower body stretch? Go for it. Now, at a very young age, one of the things that I always like to tell parents is that the stretching process at a young age, let's say ages 3 to about 7, it's more formality. You're trying to build up good stretching habits so that when you get to be Jackson's age, your body's developing a little bit more, you're becoming more physical, your training is more physical. Those habits of stretching are now habits that have been ingrained, that you've grown accustomed to, that he's grown accustomed to. So obviously in a live situation you're going to want to do more than 2 stretches, but for the sake of what we're doing, I'm just having him do 2 quick stretches. You can add on more at home. Go ahead and grab that racket, Jax. All right, and the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on a coordination building exercise. So this is hand-eye coordination. We're going to do some downs. I'm going to bounce these up nice and high. I'm working downs right now. If your child is a little younger and they're having difficulty with this, here is a great hack, a great life hack. They can choke up on the grip. It'll make it easier for them to bounce that ball. Okay, Jax, go for it. Jax is going to work on some downs. Good. And he can do this in a location around the house as long as there's nothing breakable around him. A clear area in the garage, maybe on the back patio or porch, in the front yard driveway, all great places. Go ahead and hold ball. Great job on those downs. The next drill we're going to do are ups. Jax is going to go ahead and demonstrate these. He should be able to do these again without having to run around. Now, if your child is all over the place and they're running all over the place and they're struggling with this, then you're going to want to move them into an area where they've got more room to be free and not bump into anything or break anything or get injured. So doing good on those, Jax. Jax is choking up on the grip. Let me see you do it at the bottom of the grip. All right, so no problem doing it at the bottom of the grip. Awesome. So he's working on ups. And again, this helps to build hand-eye coordination. This helps to build racket control and racket-eye coordination as well. All right, great job. High five. Awesome. Let me borrow that ball. Now, a big part of what we're hoping to accomplish is we want to make sure that your child is ready to come back to the courts, but we also want to maybe give you some time that you can connect together, parent to child, with this sport that your child is growing to love. We're going to work on some forehands right now, and Jackson wants you to demonstrate the forehand. Go for it. Good. All right, go ahead and do that again. Fantastic. Go ahead and back up a step. All right, I'm going to talk just a little bit. So when you're working on the forehand, first of all, you're talking about the stroke that happens to the right side of your body with a right-handed youngster, or the left side of their body if they happen to be left-handed. I'm going to demonstrate this from the left side here. All right, so there's a couple of things. I call this position the starting position right here. So in the starting position, notice that the racket is vertical, the racket is on edge, and both hands are out together. So this is the starting position. And from here, I'm going to move the racket in a looping shape, all right? It's also like the letter C. If you look at it from the side, you're going to notice the C shape with this, all right? So I'm in my starting position here. Racket's vertical, racket is on edge. A good way to find the grip is simply to drop the racket on the ground. You may not be able to see that, but if I just pick it up, now the racket is on edge. Hands are together, and from here, I'm going to make that C shape, and this is where my contact would be, but I'm not using a ball, so there's no reason to worry about contact. And and I'm going to finish over the shoulder, and now I'm catching the racket. I don't know if you can see that, but at the end of the stroke, the racket is being caught by the free hand. So taking the loop over the shoulder, catching with the free hand over the shoulder. Jax, go ahead and give me about 10 forehands. Go for it. Fantastic. And go ahead and do them slow. You don't have to do them fast. Good, good, good. Terrific. Let's see it again. Good, good, good. Okay. Hold that starting point. Okay, good. So I'm looking for his racket to be vertical. You can see the edge of the racket. Go ahead and take that loop and over the shoulder and catch. Now this time when you're done with the catch, I want you to freeze it at the very end of the stroke. Go for it. Okay, freeze. Okay, so right at the end here, what I like to do is I like to really exaggerate that finish. So what I've done is at this point, Jackson is kissing the bicep muscle. All right, so that's a full finish. The great thing about this form is this is the form that you're going to see any highly competitive junior tennis player using, any collegiate player, all the way up into the pros. This is what's known as a modern day power forehand stroke. This is what we teach in the academy. The good news is that if you can build this stroke at home without a ball, muscle memory, build that muscle memory. When your child is back on the court, that stroke is going to happen all by itself. With kids, and really with all tennis players, what I've noticed over the years is I can tell them how to do a tennis stroke, and they can show me instantly that they can do it, and then when I toss them a ball, they forget everything, and the beautiful stroke that they have shown me turns into a swatting the fly stroke, which is what we don't want. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to have your child demonstrate 50 forehands for you. Go for it. 50. As the parent, I'm looking to make sure that they are sticking with the correct form. Back up just a little bit, son. Okay, go for it. Not so fast with the movements. Okay, good. So I'm looking for the form. Good, good, good. Freeze. Okay, so for example, if I saw Jackson start with the racket down here, I would instantly correct and make sure the racket was vertical. All right. If he pulled the racket straight back, I would correct and make sure that he was doing more of a circular C shape. If he were to finish the stroke here, I would correct by making sure that he was up and over the shoulder when he finished. So those are corrections that you can look for at home. You're doing great. Let's move on to the backhand, okay? And I'll tell you what, on the backhand side, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna switch places with you. All right. So for the backhand side, go ahead and demonstrate the backhand. You know it. You've done it many times. Terrific. Move a little closer to me. Do it one more time. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so there's a couple of really important things to notice about the backhand. Go ahead and show me your starting point, not your ready position. Okay, so at this point, again, what I call the starting point on a backhand, Jax has his racket behind him. So this is out in front of him. So he's got his racket behind him. He's got the racket on edge, just like we talked about on the forehand. And the tip of the racket is vertical. We can say the tip of the racket is pointing up to the heavens. So this is his starting point. Now from here, he's going to swing through using two hands, keeping two hands on the racket at all times. He'll finish with two hands on the racket as well. We always recommend that beginning level students start with a two-handed backhand. Now, they might end up playing with two-handed backhand their whole life. Occasionally, well, I won't say occasionally, about 50% of the time, players as they develop will switch to a one-handed backhand. If you look at the pros, you're going to see half of the men using a two-handed backhand and half of them using a one-handed. Most likely, they all started with a two-handed backhand because you have more control of the hands with a two-handed backhand and more control of the racket. Okay, go ahead and swing through slowly. Okay, so the racket head's going to drop. He's going to swing through. And again, perfect finish over the shoulders. Why don't you turn around so they can see this? Okay, go ahead and walk it around. Good, see that racket is all the way over the shoulders? Okay, go ahead and face back forward. All right, and notice his elbows here are off the body. All right, let's show him what on the body would be. That's on the body. He wants to finish with the elbows off the body. Fantastic. Okay, Let's see some more backhands. Go for it. Good, move a little closer to me. Good, keep going. Now I'm not real worried about the feet. At this point, we're working more of the upper body. We're talking about the form, really from the waist up. You're talking about the form and how they're moving their racket. Again, his feet, not real concerned about the footwork at this point in time. He's got a nice wide stance, about shoulder width apart. He's stepping forward with it. But you know what, I'm gonna be more concerned to start off with how he's moving his racket. So if this was a live situation and he was playing, show me your ready position, son. He'd be starting in his ready position, and from ready position, if the ball came to the backhand side, he'd pull the racket back into starting position. And from here, he'd take his backhand stroke. Good. Now sometimes what I'll do with students is I'll have them verbalize what they're doing. So you're going to take 3 of these and you're going to say backhand as you're doing this. Go for it.
Backhand.
Good. Do it again. Nice and loud. 2 more times.
Backhand.
Good. 1 more time.
Backhand.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Now some of the things I'm looking for on the backhand, again, as a parent at home, these are some things that you want to be looking for. Show me your starting position. Okay, that's your ready position, so let me see your starting point. Okay, from here, let's say the racket head was down. Instantly, I'd want to correct that and make sure that the racket head was vertical, pointing up to the heavens. Let's say the racket was not on edge and you could see the face of the racket. I'd want to correct that and make sure the racket was on edge, all right? We already know that when he's finished, the elbows should be off the body. That would be another good correction at the end of the stroke. So go ahead and swing through and give us 5 more backhands. Good. Again, he doesn't have to think about hitting the ball because there is no ball. So he can focus on his body and not have to worry about making contact with a ball. Again, in the beginning, as you're learning tennis and really trying to develop these strokes, usually what throws everybody off is the ball comes and they just kind of lose their mind because it's so much fun to hit a tennis ball, and now they forget what they're doing with their body. So being in a situation where he can focus on doing the stroke correctly, how he's feeling throughout his body as he's doing that stroke, and then once we get him back on the tennis court in another couple of weeks or maybe a month max, then the ball comes and he's got that muscle memory that's built in, which is fantastic. So you're doing great. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to have you do kind of a figure 8, and by figure 8 what I mean is you'll do a forehand here, come back to ready position, you'll do a backhand here, you'll come back to ready position, you'll do a forehand. Come over a little closer to me. Okay, go for it. Good. Okay, backhand. Good. Forehand. Good, 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 good. That's it. Fantastic. You're doing great, son. Keep it up, keep it up. Good, good, good. Good. Come back a little bit. Oh, Ellie. Okay, here we go. Keep going, keep going. Okay. Terrific. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to try to do a little bit more coordination building. When you're learning how to play this sport, you know, a lot of people just don't understand just how important it is to be able to coordinate your hands with your eyes, the timing, the racket, and all of the above. And so I'll actually borrow your racket, and we're going to work on a few coordination drills together. So just think about it like this. It's just dad going out with son and playing some catch. So I'm just gonna toss it to you. Okay, toss it back. Kind of go an underhand. Okay, toss it to you. Toss it back. Good, good, good. Here we go. Toss it to you. Toss it back. Good. And notice we're switching hands. So I'm going to toss it to him with my right hand. I'm going to catch it with my left. I'm going to toss it with my left. Okay, and I'm just going to keep doing that back and forth. Okay, and then we want to do what I like to call progressionals. All right. That gets boring after a while, and we want to be able to progress up. Okay, so we're going to make this more difficult. So I'm going to do a bounce pass to him now. Go do bounce pass back. Good. Difficult. There we go. Bounce pass. Keep your eyes on the ball at all times. Eyes on the ball. Good, good, good. Good. Bounce pass. Terrific. Okay, bounce pass. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we're going to make it a little bit more complicated. Again, we're going to progress. So I'm going to toss to you, you're going to toss to me, and we'll do that at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to do a bounce pass to each other. Go ahead and put the ball in your right hand. We're going to bounce pass to each other, okay? 3, 2, 1, go. Good. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Good. So, again, what we're doing is we're working to build hand-eye coordination. Go ahead and hold this. Come on in. Working to build up hand-eye coordination, working to build up the kind of the athletic foundation, right? So a good athlete has got great hand-eye coordination. They've got great timing. That's part of it, so we're working to do that. We're also working to make sure that his form is correct so that when he hits the courts, he's ready to go. To be honest with you, in working with my kids on the tennis court, I wish that I would have spent more time off the court, more time off the court, working with them to just build form, and to create that muscle memory, so that when we were on court, I wouldn't have to do quite as much correcting on court. You did great, son. Good lesson. Again, Tennis Anyone, Coach Jay, Coach Patrick, Coach Terry, looking forward to being back on court with you in the very near future. Thank you so much and have a great day. High five.